Charlie, it's been a long time coming, but officially our jerseys are out and available for our buy round supporters and fans.
That's right, Jimmy. So thank you everyone who's bought one so far. They're a great colour, inspired by your playing career, Jimmy. A little bit of England, a little bit of the Doggies, a little bit of the Dragons, a little bit of St Helens. And they have turned out so well, all thanks to Classic, I should say. They're the ones who have made this jersey happen. So huge thank you to them.
Yeah, Charlie, absolute quality stuff from the people at Classic. And thank you again for everybody who's bought one. If you do want to get hold of one, though, stock is limited. So do not delay. Click on the link in the bio or below and get your hands on this piece of memorabilia. They've also got little numbers on the bottom. Only 150 of them have been made, so you get your unique little number at the bottom there. Mine is 56.
I'm 25, Jimmy. Number 25. I don't mind that. It's a good number.
Good number.
Yeah, good stuff. Thebuyround.com if you want to grab one.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Buy Round Grand Final review show. What a day it was. Reece Walsh just above and beyond, arguably the greatest ever individual performance, both with and without the ball. We are joined by Broncos legend and Premiership winner, Gorden Tallis. Gorden,
wow.
Are we...
It was the Wow Broncos a long
was.
time ago, and it is the Wow Broncos now. Reece Walsh, and I was listening to you guys on the way home, so I was... But with all the Clive Churchill medalists that I can remember, I think they've had moments and unbelievable moments. And we talk about Cleary, and then the Andrew Johns, the first 20 minutes, and there's been so many amazing performances, but none for 80 minutes.
No.
And that kid to have the pressure and the injuries of the couple of the Spaniards, so losing Reynolds and losing Ben Hunt and having Ezra Mam that's only played one game, he played bugger all footy this year.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much Reece ball, and Reece just played the way he did all of his life.
It wasn't bad for a bloke that was 18th man for Queensland in the Origin series win. I just went back and looked. He didn't play Origin this year.
No.
Like, that is the level of talent in the competition. Obviously, he had a couple of injuries.
Yeah. And that's probably what he needed too, because Reece, sometimes like they can get it not before they deserve it, but when they're young and they're not mature enough to handle it. I think the first time he went, he probably thinks it's easy. And I remember Carl and Ponga walking after his first state of Origin, and I still remember him going, yeah, it's just like another club game or something. I'm like, no, it's not.
With Reece Walsh and all these magnificent moments from yesterday's what do you think was
my best for
the one, if you're going to have one highlight
if I'm
from
breaking the game down right now and I go Melbourne Storm, you could have won, but you had some opportunities. Pappenhausen makes a break. The flick pass back in the Warbrick. Who chased him?
Reece.
Kamikamitha, over the line, 110 kilos, hands like baseball gloves, gets the ball, drops it within an inch.
That for me.
Who makes the tackle?
Reece. That for me was the single most important play, because I think if Melbourne score there, they go on a run. 20-something
seconds to go. Katoa goes through. Draw and pass. It's a try. It's 90%. It's not. It's
a clean line break.
It's
a
the
2-on-1.
Pappenhausen flying, and he does the ball, and he tackles Pappenhausen. So the three missed opportunities. And it's like you didn't miss them. Reece just beat you to the punch.
He saved them.
He saved them. So it wasn't
they're three legitimate tries.
Three legitimate tries, right?
Yeah.
And just the plays that he come up with, that's without his passing. That's without, because he's been criticised for, his attention to detail when it comes to the other side of the game, which is defence and kicks and all that kind of stuff. And that try he scored in that moment, what was he, 20 metres, 30 metres, like we caught? I don't know, but it's back, and he comes around the ruck and he hits it. That's it. Only Reece can score. Like in my time watching, that's a Reece Walsh try. That's the only person that could score that try. How quick he was. You needed the speed. You needed the courage to go away from the game plan. And you needed the footy now. And he had all three in that moment.
If you go watch that individual try that he scored, he's parked over on the right-hand side. He's set up in that block shape to sweep out the back like most fullbacks are. They play inside to Kobe Hetherington. he gets a quick play the ball, but in that meantime, in that short space of time, Reece somehow can, from a distance, look, assess, react, have that.
What do you reckon he reacted to? The space, the defenders? What do you reckon? Or the
quick play the ball.
Quick play.
I think he's gone, quick play the ball. I need to be. So we see a lot. There's some fullbacks that like to hang around the ruck and wait for that. There's some that hold shape. But Reece's speed, he was holding shape because that's the overwhelming majority of the time the Broncos go out. But they turn into Hetherington, which is a really good play. Gets that quick play the ball. But then he runs from the far right-hand side of the field to the left-hand side of the ruck. And then, even then, it's a big call to say, give me the football, last play. I'm going to go and score here. Like, I thought he'd get the ball. I didn't think he was going to score. Like, he had so much to do with so many defenders that were reacting as well. Like, they were on the back foot, but you just...
Well, the scoreline was in favour of Melbourne, and they, Brisbane were on the rope. Like, it was a great start. Then Melbourne had the momentum, and that was against the momentum. I think it was a penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They got him down there. I think Payne Ash got up and played, or something like that. So there was a penalty, they got him down there. What a game.
It was...
11. Did you read his ratings this morning?
11 out of 10.
And that's fitting.
I don't think you can argue with that.
No, it's funny, isn't it? Like, what's the best score? 10. What did you get? 11.
Well,
11.
I think the only mistake was a forward pass that was one of the best passes
of the game. Getting tackled
over
the
top of Coates as well. Like, not just over the top of anyone. That goes over the top of Xavier Coates from memory. Yeah. And it was like inches away from Coates getting the intercept. He jumps and then it just lands in the arms of Mariner. Referee blows a forward pass. It's like, ooh. And it probably was, to be fair. It probably was.
Yeah, like
but that was...
It was, but you've seen them get...
Yeah, you've seen them allowed to be play on, but it's just... You run out of words to describe Reece Walsh's performance, his influence. We know about, the draw card that he is. Producer Charlie said yesterday that Reece Walsh... Not only his ability to win football games, but the game as a whole, he has the ability now to put the NRL front and centre of the Australian sporting stage. He is that big, he is that popular, he is that well-liked, that he can go, he can bring our game, he can, if we look at the race, if we're looking at it from a race between NRL, AFL, you need superstars. You need that human interest story, and he can just get us ahead a little bit in the race after.
Do you know what people don't realise, right? Like, you play with a lot of courage because they see that. They actually see your courage taking on Sam Burgess. They see your courage taking on the big guys. For him, for the 40-20 to grab the ball, to go against what his teammates want, because they're calling a play and he goes, I see this, that run. That's courage going against what you've been working for. Like, that's like, to me, when you got a playmaker or you got a guy that goes, I'm going here. Sorry, guys, I know you want that. I'm changing. Could you imagine being like, just imagine that's a boardroom and you got this 6 smartest guys going, this is what we're doing. We've all won games. And he goes, I'm going this way.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the wrong direction. That's courage.
It is.
And then that's I believe, just in those moments. And it started, I don't know, about 5 weeks ago. And he thought, I reckon I can do this. I think when Adam Reynolds was out, he just thought, and I reckon that's the confidence. I reckon that's the confidence that he got out of it. No, because that's what they bought him for. I thought when when Kevy first bought him, it was to play fullback for a bit, eventually put him into 5'8", the Darren Lockyer.
Yeah.
Right? And then his running game, I have no doubt. I thought, the collision, because of the Swaliti tackle and that, but he's going to the collision. He's going to the collision as hard as he can. Defensively, that's just getting in the sand pit and putting on the mouth guard and having a crack.
He's put that was it 24 where he got Taylor May got him, then Suolihi got him. I think he's put that out of his mind. He's playing with with no fear anymore. Like he got that out of his mental approach, which is look, I understand what it's like, and
listen, knowing Craig Bellamy the way I do, I have no doubt that they wanted to stop Payne Haas, and I think they did a pretty good job at it. And that's not
in the first half, especially.
And that's not saying that Payne didn't have a great game. And Payne's been busted. Like I couldn't imagine what he's put his body through this year. Like he wasn't even training for Origin. He's
he was struggling to do the lap of honour.
Yeah. Mate, you see more.
I watched him. Well, I think Carrigan ran off with the trophy, like to the Brisbane fans, and Payne was just sort of like trying to like move his legs in behind. He was nowhere. Like you know when you see at the end of the training run, there's that lad that's always running last. Like he was just gone. He was just like, boys, can you just stop? Just wait.
Go get it.
Like this isn't the con drill we're doing here. Like pull it back a little bit. I know you're excited, but I am busted here. Like
that effort should have been out on the field. So like I reckon that they wanted to stop those two, and I think they did limit Payne a bit, but they couldn't limit Reece. And just to have a side like that's been able to shut down a lot of people, but he got them for 80 minutes.
Yeah, it was an incredible performance. People, obviously, the recency bias a little bit in effect here, but talking about it as the greatest individual performance in a grand final. I mean, it is hard to
it's up there,
argue against. You know, we spoke about it on radio yesterday. Definitely on the podium, and I think you know what's great for our game. I mentioned about some of the fullbacks. I think they push each other.
It's a hotly contested position.
I think they, and Gordy, you and I have spoken about, this isn't going to help the case because you and I we know everybody wants to be a fullback now.
Yep.
And everybody wants fullback money, and it could be deemed as a bit detrimental to the youth coming through.
This is what you do, the game. I've got the solution. Only make number ones. Everybody in the team wears number one, and then just say, but listen, you're fullback, but you just play here. Yeah. You just slot in here. Because the Gorden Tallis Cup a couple of weeks ago, there's 1,300 kids. 500 of them had painted nails. 500 of them had the Reece Walsh grip socks on. Okay, you're not powerful enough, you're 10, to step out of your boots. But they got the grip socks on, they got the pink tights on, they got the nails painted. Just give them all number one.
Yeah.
Mate, if that's all we got to do to our game, give them all. Like it's like the Jordan, like everybody plays basketball. But you got to wear that jersey. Just give everybody number ones because of Teddy and all the famous number ones that are playing our game at the moment. Let's do it.
Well, I think Teddy, the Hammer, Latrell Mitchell,
Tommy
Turbo, Kalen Ponga,
when he's at his best.
They're all like, how'd you pick a
KO Weeks?
KO Weeks. How you pick Pappenhausen, who was immense.
Pappenhausen,
he was great for Melbourne.
He's got a Clive Churchill medal a couple, I think the last time they won.
Like all of these players are just pushing each other to like elevate themselves to the top of the tree. When it
Hold on,
comes
then you
to
got a guy that comes in for Hammer, Trey Fuller,
Yeah.
who just bounces out of the ground that looks like that he's this big, and he's got a bit of a cult following as well. So there's so many, and Drinkwater at the Cowboys, he's all there. Like if you went through every team,
it is highly contested.
We got a luxury of fullback,
but I think what that does, it pushes them to be better. Yeah. Like, and going slightly off track here, you can imagine like a Latrell Mitchell watching that and going, "I need to be better than him." You can imagine a Hammer going, "I need to be better than that." Like this is what it does. And it gets you excited about what's next.
Or thinking, I am better than that.
Yeah. And how?
No. I need to be. I'm better than.
Yeah. I'm gonna go and earn.
I think that's the mindset.
Yeah.
I'm better than. Like you don't go. Oh, I think I can do that. Yeah. I mean, like you'd watch, and that's what happens. Like we're talking grand finals, and in '99 when we watched Melbourne and Dragons, we all sat there and it was silence, thinking we're better than that. You know what I mean? Like not that. And we missed the opportunity. And so there's players that watch, and that's what the grand final's about. I guarantee the Raiders are sitting there. There's some side sitting there going, that should have, could have, but generally, if you get to the bottom, we're better than that.
Yeah.
You know?
The effect, obviously, we'll look a bit deeper into the game, but Gordy, the effect that this will have on the city of Brisbane. It's been 19 years since that win in 2006. They've been agonisingly close. They won it in 2023. They lost it in 2023. What is this going to mean for the people of Brisbane?
Well, I know what rugby league means to Queenslanders, and I know that Brisbane, dare I say it, is the biggest franchise in Queensland, and they've had loyal fans. I think they've averaged 35,000 people for a side that hasn't brought home a trophy in 19 years. And they've been to the dance a couple of times, and they've been very close. In 2015, they had a great year. In 23, they had a great year. And there've been some other performances when they've been up there. But for the fan, you were there last week. You saw that place rocking. Producer Charlie said that it's the most sought-after game, I think, in rugby league, or even event.
250,000.
You know what I mean? So that's even more than
Brisbane.
A Taylor Swift. So to have this side rocking like that, and it comes down to the play. Like, it's a pretty good image of a side. You got some good-looking guys. You got everything. You got some tough, Payne Haas, gritty. You got the local heroes, Toldy, that come in. You got Jensens. You got Hetheringtons, and you got the star-studded side. Other guys. You got Ben Hunt that started, and everybody thought that he lost it for Brisbane, but he didn't, because everybody that played with him goes, we would never have got to that position without him, and he's carried that monkey on his back.
I was made up for Benny. I obviously played with him at the Dragons, and look, I probably didn't agree with the Dragons letting him go for that very reason.
Hey, I tell you what's going to happen. South have been getting shit put on them, right, over the Reynolds situation.
Yeah.
There's another 30-year-old halfback. They just won a grand final.
Yeah.
$1 million halfback. Yeah, I mean, so there's reasons. And that's why, and when you don't know all the reasons, right? But you sit there and what you just look at is what you know is there's a halfback that a lot of other clubs would have wanted to go there. And, when sides are scraping the barrel to get playmakers with game management, he goes there. And believe it or not, when Adam Reynolds went down, I thought, don't worry, because up steps the state of origin halfback. And then he went down, the poor bugger, put his head in the wrong spot. After 350 games, you should know where to put your head, Dozer.
Oh, gee. He was wobbly, wasn't he?
And then Ezra Mam and Reece Walsh just take over. Like, that's a fair luxury.
Yeah, I was honestly really pleased for Benny Hunt. Like I say, probably
it was
from a Dragons point of view, the club had to win in letting him go, but I understand it. But he gets that redemption, his origin career is stamped.
His origin career. I promise you, for the rest of his life, he gets caught out on every.
Yeah, he can dine out on what he's done for Queensland, but
but then when it's the Broncos clubland, because we all just judge, that's stamped as well. That's
sure is,
300 game, toughest team. When they threw him in any position in state of origin, he did his job. And I won a grand final.
Yeah, congratulations to Benny Hunt and all the Brisbane side. I thought
it's going to be huge. And then the elephant in the room is the AFL that are trying to get. And then, do you know the funny thing is, right? When they won 3 in a row, we won 3 in 4 years, and now they've won again. We when you think that this side's going to go on and get the momentum, and we're going to own the city. The girls and the guys won.
Yeah. Congratulations to both. Yeah. We can't forget that that impressive victory from the NRLW side, led by Brigginshaw. That was brilliant stuff in the second game of the afternoon. Some touches of class post game. I thought Harry Grant,
unbelievable.
Like the way he spoke, like that is I've been in that situation, and you kind of just. You really don't want to be there. You really don't want to have to thank anyone. You just want to get the hell out of there. Obviously, the Storm players watched Brisbane go and receive their medals, and it was all class from Harry Grant. And then I thought Adam Reynolds to bring Billy Walters on, obviously it's a squad game. But it was only Billy that came up. And I thought that with all the surroundings, that was bloody brilliant from Reynolds. I was so happy for Billy. And you could see it in his face what it meant to him, man.
Yeah, the last one that I remember it, actually Darren Lockyer called up Shane Webke when it was his last game, because normally it's only the captain. And Webby, he called him up And I remember Stephen Price. I think he got injured or something, and then they called him up to lift the trophy. So it doesn't happen, but there's a touch of class with it. And with Billy Walters, the way that the last 6 weeks, the pressure, and you couldn't imagine what would have been going through his head with the year, right? Because at the end of the day, that's his dad.
Yeah.
But that's the club that he loved. That's the club that he was the ball boy at. That's the club that he grew up in. Like, you know, when his mother passed away, and then he used to come to that dressing room all the time and hang around. So it's sort of in every part of his thread. And he did it the tough way. He was there got a late start at the Tigers, and then he fought his way back in, and everybody's saying that he wasn't good enough. But I thought his back half of the year for Brisbane, when they were playing their best, when they went for a run, a lot of it was for Billy. And you know, when he was playing at hooker, he'd come on and he'd change the game, and every time he come on, he made an impact. And that's all you can ask.
Yeah.
But when he got caught up, and the excitement that he had was pretty cool.
Yeah, the look on his face, the joy says it all. And he is a significant contributor to that side. Like when they face those injury problems, I know the performance of Walsh in Canberra was sensational, but Billy Walters was not that far behind him in terms of influence of that game. He had an incredible final series. The game can be quite cruel at times when you and to play through, like, no one knew he was injured. Like, he disguised the injury. Like, when it came out in the week, it was like, what? When did that happen? Because he didn't look like he was injured for 94 minutes.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah,
ridiculous. And it was a moment. And then, you know, like when they won, and I sat back and I just watched, because like no matter who wins, I like the celebration. And I watched, and the way Reece Walsh, the players, when they went up and hugged, you know, certain players, you know that there's a thanks, mate, and you know that there's when there's a big body collision, and mate, thank you, that's the moment that you miss as a player. Like when you, like, you know, people go, oh, what's this day feel like? Well, when I watch that, the memories flood back, you know, and you go, like, I miss it, you know, like like you think, shit, that moment. And it's actually the moment of winning. Like, believe it or not, the moment of winning and losing, like that last bit when you're sitting there and your gut's tight, and if you're defending, you're thinking, let's just hold on here. Like, mate, Brisbane are going, don't come my way.
Yeah.
You're like, or just keep on moving, like, shit. And then
the heart in the mouth, yeah.
And then to see all that, like, all those emotions. Like, normally games don't give you all of them, but it gave us all of them.
Yeah. Michael Maguire obviously takes over. It was a bumpy start, to say the least. They found themselves in the top four. I think the job he's done for people like Karapani, Mariner, Shibasaki has been sensational. What a year those three have had. You know what? Congratulations to Maguire, because, you know, he rightfully came under probably a little bit of criticism. I think it's been spoken about that.
Absolutely he did.
He changed his ways around halfway through the season. Dialed down that intensity. We were speaking with Buzz Rothfield, but I've just got to say this, like, how cool our game is, right?
Yep.
Today I'm driving in to the studio here in Alexandria. I live in Gymea. Drive past Brighton Les Sands, where they're staying. Michael Maguire, the Premiership winning coach, one of his staff, and I think it was Corey Jensen, just walking in Brighton with a coffee. Walking in Brighton Les Sands with a coffee. I'm like, I give them. I give them an Irish coffee? I don't know. I give them a beep. It's on a bit of a main road. I'm like, what? You know when you can't. Is this real? Like, one of the greatest sporting moments.
Well, they got to be home by 11, mate. They got a fan.
Yeah, I know they've got a fan. But he was just walking in Brighton Les Sands. I was like, not many sports around the globe. I'm trying to imagine like a Guardiola or a Arnie Slot.
No, Wayne Bennett used to do it because he didn't drink.
Well,
so that bugger was up all the time. He'd just be sitting there waiting by himself.
Yeah.
Wayne, we haven't gone to bed yet. You got a bit of time.
But like, there's not many sport. No. Like when we think about the access that the fans get to the players, you could have been a punter in Brighton Les Sands, just going for a walk on a public holiday, and hang on a minute, didn't I see him on TV yesterday?
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool. Going slightly off topic here, but we've got to make sure we hold on to that. Didn't have any security with him.
You're big on that because when Reece Walsh walked around the field in Newcastle and people don't see it, and I know he gets a bad rap, he gets a bum rap, and he shouldn't, because the 25 minutes that he walks around that people don't see, now he gets off the field naked because he can't, and everybody's asking, but he sort of picks and chooses, and it'll be a moment or someone that he feels needs his gear more than others. You know, I mean, not that the others don't, but he picks those moments. And you say it all the time, where does this happen? And I know that
it doesn't. I get scared we're going to, I reckon it'll be I really hope we do our best to hold on to this. Like, it's such a cool element of our game that our players, our coaches, the stars are so accessible.
Well, I went to the Super Bowl, right? I don't think they had a fan day. They have a fan zone, but our players who go in public on fan day in the beautiful harbour, in the best harbour in the world, and they all walk in there and fans can touch them and do all that. I don't think I could have got the Tom Brady, it was Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, 3 days before they played the Super Bowl. And I was in Miami. Well, I probably wouldn't have recognised them. But
you'd probably need in the hundreds of millions of dollars. But Michael Maguire.
No, mate, do you know what? It was a great effort, right? So I have been critical, and it wasn't so much a match, right? So the elephant in the room was I was critical of the Origin. When I'm sitting there at Origin and I'm rusted on and I can't change who I am and the bubble and the glass houses and that was the first hit back. And he's coming on and I'm standing up for Billy Slater, right? Yep. Then it was all that. And then when it come at the end of the year and then watching what happened at the Broncos, and I know a bit more than what was happening, it wasn't Madge, right? All I did was read out his record.
Yeah.
And he hadn't made the finals in 5. That's fact, right? He hadn't made the finals. And that, knowing what I knew about being a bit closer to the squad and going in there on certain occasions, they don't react to that these days. And I'm thinking, if he doesn't change his ways, that's not what Brisbane need. That's not what that side and the DNA that I know what's in there. And then that was just all fact. And that's what I was disappointed with, that Kevy Walters, with the 5 guys, their 5 best players, that played 5 games together, and he got 12th after Wooden Spoon, 3 minutes away of beating, arguably, I think, one of the better Penrith sides. So then they're going to categorize, like in 20 years' time, they'll go, because I say 98 Brisbane beat the other Brisbane sides that I play with easy, right? So they'll put sides down, and I will never walk away from that ever in my life. And because that's a fact and that's what I believed. And then over the year, they did stumble a bit, but how they've been able to correct themselves, and the players have got better. They're 50 games on from their last grand final. Yeah. And that's fact, right? And then Madge has done a really good job, right? And as you said, all those fringe players, Mariner, we spoke about it in the game. He's become a high-class marquee winger in a really short time. Like he's no frills, except when he ran around to put that ball down in the first minute. Just put it down, mate. The try line's there. You get the same amount of points whether it's there or there. And you had a good goal kicker.
That was insane.
That's insane. But all those guys, I think the fringe players, and then they've improved. They've actually have improved. And then the squad, I like Paddy, like those guys, like my kids love them.
Yeah.
Like my son calls him Paddy Paddigan. And Reece Walsh, he's got a Reece Walsh. He's got a Reece Walsh. He thinks, like they wore it to the game. Like you saw him, like they got them at the game last night. So, and then the DNA that I know the club is back.
Yeah.
And I reckon they're playing more like a Broncos side now. Just sort of looking at it.
I think as well, Gordy, so I'm in a little bit of a similar situation to you. One of my best mates, Paul Wellens, coach at St. Helens, under enormous pressure. And you know what? I don't care. I care about him.
Yep.
I care about him because I've been friends with him for over 20 years. And I've seen the hugest picture when it comes to him and St. Helens. And there's the magnifying glass on recent performance.
No, you can't have that up.
He's my mate. He's my mate, and I will have his back. I will have his back.
You can't
till the day I die.
You can't.
Because then you're a big mouth,
and I ignore the big mouth, and you're a sook. Oh, mate, my social media is so good.
I ignore the performance.
Thank you, actually, to all the people. Thank you so much for watching. I might buy another watch next week.
But I think that's look. we're in a position, Gordy, where we talk about the game. I'd talk about the game whether or not I'm at a cafe, a pub, a gym, wherever I am, at the school drop-off, talking about from a position of I played the game for a bit. Obviously,
Sam Burgess' perfect thing, right? So when he wanted to play with all of his brothers, at the time I don't think that they were all good enough to be playing. But when Luke and all that, that's a moment in the game, and people going, "Oh man, they're only playing because it's Sam." Sam was so loyal to his brothers, right? And that's part of it. That's the moment that you love. And with Kevy, I've said 20 years of a relationship. People think that I don't go see him every day, right? He had to go buy his own polo shirt when he got to the club. And I just don't think he got the support. So everything that I'm talking about is fact. I didn't fabricate it. I didn't make it up. And then when you go, these guys have done it, that's all what it was. And then Dave Donner, he come and sat on our show and he goes, Kevy gave us 3 years while it was 30. And I corrected him on that. Other than that, I'm happy for the club. If you saw the way the club's pumping again and all those young kids and I love rugby league more than anything in the world. So all those kids, I'm telling you now, more kids are buying boots. Next year, buying mouth guards and going to a local footy club and playing because of the way they play. And that's your job as a player and an organisation. So congratulations from the top down. I still don't believe with some of the decisions that they made. And I'm entitled to my opinion. And did they prove me wrong? No, because I think the guy that was there would have done the same job.
Well, Gordy as well, like I get accused of being, especially from Australian audience, biased to the Bulldogs. And maybe that comes through in the commentary. And I don't really particularly try and shy away from that. But what I'm more biased towards is my friends. And you know what? I've seen my friends do the right thing, the wrong thing, and I will go into bat for them because that's what we do as human beings. We have our friends back, not just when it's convenient and they're winning and they're doing well. You have your friends back
at the worst time,
the worst possible time. And with you and the public,
when shit hits the fan,
when you're in the public domain, and whatever are you going to side with the institution, the organisation, or i.e. the Broncos, or are you going to side with your mate? All the principles that you believe are right. Yeah.
That I believe are right. Other people can say that it's wrong, but what I believe and the fabric that I was brought up on are right. People don't agree with it. I say that a year at Dragons. They're right. I say the Dragons got it right. I say that now. When they made me sit out a year, and at the time I thought I was right, they were right. And I've said that publicly. Right? So, but it's the principles that you live by, Jimmy, and you can't change that. And that's your fabric. And don't change. And I've watched you with the Dogs, right? And I'm sitting there, but I love that. And you know what, with Phil Gould, right? I love when he's New South Wales. I love when Joey gets, when Joey gets the shits and you Queenslanders shit me and he sits there. And Cameron Smith didn't say anything. He just smiled at him. He goes, look at you. And he just, and then that part, and everybody goes, just look, that's what I want to see from an ex-New South Welshman when their team loses.
Yeah, you want people, it's great that they
cared, congratulations. I really like New South Wales. You walk off, you're shitty, right? You're shitty because your team, and that's what you want. You want to feel like a fan, and that's what you do, and that's just it, right? And you know what? Reece Walsh, I tell you what gave me confidence, right? I just didn't want Kevy to get forgotten. Reece Walsh, the star, the 11 out of 10 goes, it started with fucking Kevy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all what needed to be said because they knew the journey that they were going on, and I reckon Kevy out of all of it goes, thanks.
Yeah.
The star player, the number one, thanked him.
Yeah, give him
a thanks is okay because they say when you win a grand final, it takes you mean that it's a 5-year rebuild. Why do they give them 5 years?
It takes a long time. For our instant classic, I mean,
Melbourne Storm took them too.
For our instant classic, obviously, there's only one game. And Classic have done so much for us. We've got the jerseys. I think that there are some still available. Click in the bio because they don't just look after NRL. All the
Jimmy, I want
clubs.
to see you at the test matches over. Mate, you got to wear one at the test.
For the tests.
You got to.
I'll say, well, it might be a bit cold, Gordy. I know they're long sleeve.
Here we go. In the middle of winter in Australia, you've got your shorts on and a T-shirt.
There's a difference between...
No, hold on. We go to Canberra. It's cold.
Yeah.
Cold is cold. Listen, temperature is temperature, Jimmy.
Only thing is,
Hot is hot.
yeah.
Cold is cold.
In defense of my previous statement, I think I'm going to be in the gantry. I've made that mistake before. So over here in Australia, everywhere you commentate is in a box. So I've rocked up. You know, you can rock up in your shorts and your t-shirt and you're fine because you're in a box, it's air conditioned, all this heating on. I made the mistake last World Cup I was home for, doing this commentary gig. I'm like, I'm in like shorts and t-shirt. Oh no, sorry, I had jeans on and just the t-shirt. And they're looking at me, I'm like, what's up? Like, you know, we're in the gantry.
Which is in the crowd.
It's like top deck, open air commentary box, basically. I'm like,
in the bird's nest, we call it here in Australia, but it's a gantry.
No, I didn't know that quite clearly. So maybe I'll take a buy. Maybe I'll put t-shirt, jumper, buy-around jersey over the top. That's how it's done. But this is all thanks to Classic or Instant Classic. Is it the greatest grand final ever, or was it the greatest grand final ever?
I want to see a replay, but watching it live, watching 2015 live, watching 23, the thing. There's been some amazing grand final, and if you play in them, like you'd be biased to your grand final, but it was pretty cool. There wasn't a bad. Do you know why there wasn't a bad player? That's what makes there wasn't like, as I said, the three errors at Melbourne Storm when you think they made them, it was Reece Walsh's amazing work in defence. So. I think when the dust settles, it'll be there.
Yeah,
it'll be up there.
It will definitely be up there. We'll switch our attention to the Melbourne Storm. 2 grand final losses in a row.
Yep.
Very unfamiliar territory for that football club. Their coach in particular. It honestly looked like they were going to cruise to a comfortable victory. Brisbane
early.
Brisbane were unable to contain the ruck speed, both with and without the football from Melbourne, playing the ball at breathtaking speed. They passed the ball. I think they were 21 from 22 at halftime, a 10-point lead and they were doing it relatively comfortably. Big loss of Howarth in the opening exchanges with that groin injury meant Wishart come on, which disrupted some of the...
Well, they played with 15
Yeah.
for a majority of the game, and the fatigue, and it probably got them in the end.
You reckon that's what it came down to?
I don't think they'd use it as an excuse. If I'm a Melbourne Storm fan, I think with all the momentum we had, we didn't get enough points. Right?
They didn't score second half, which I didn't see coming.
Or the injuries that we had in the rotation just buggered us. Just buggered us up.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing Coach Bellamy in the press conference.
He made no excuses.
Yeah, he made no excuses, but he was like, we didn't get some things right last grand final. We're going to have to double down on that.
Yeah, he did say double down. And he thought that they'd changed it, he said.
And the defensive effort last year was phenomenal. People didn't like last year's grand final. I loved it. I thought it was
Brisbane had I think Reece Walsh, right? He stepped someone the other week. Mate, I'm sitting in there at 360. He gets the ball and he hits someone. It might have been against Penrith, and I don't think there's a player that could have defended it.
Yeah.
Right. So when I say and that's not lightly, right? So yeah, of course you can. You're fresh, you're fit, you got friends around you, but 1-on-1. Fatigue in the game. So that's a different beast, mate.
Yeah, he spoke about some of the defensive things, Coach Bellamy, but I don't know.
Which means effort, because they needed more jerseys in the picture, and they couldn't get there because of the work that was getting done and those little inside balls and stuff like that.
But for Melbourne, and we've looked at Reece Walsh's 6 or 7 moments. Mariner scoring before the Storm had the ball. Was that in the first half
for Reece?
Yeah, but if you're Melbourne Storm, are you just looking at it and going, we missed some opportunities? See, I don't think Brisbane missed any opportunities. Maybe towards the back end, there was with about 4 minutes to go, they nearly scored.
They grabbed their moments. They got all their moments.
Yeah.
Where Melbourne, there was a 3. If Kamikamica scores,
Yeah.
right?
Pappenhausen off the scrum.
If Pappenhausen scores,
Katoa, if he show and goes.
within the last dying minutes, if he can get that, if he dummies and goes himself, he might get, but you just don't know. So there was 3 chances that they had and they win the game. So if I'm looking at it as a Melbourne fan, there was 3 plays that they just, and it was that much in it.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult for Melbourne to dust themselves off after that. Because it's not as heartbreaking as 23 for Brisbane. It's probably not. It's probably more heartbreaking than last year against Penrith. I think Melbourne would come away from this game and feel, look, I know what it's like being in that dressing room to be, we should have won that. I think there'll be a feeling of we bombed an opportunity there. It's going to be a hell of a...
I reckon Penrith would be saying that.
Yeah. Canberra.
I reckon Canberra would be saying that. But, at the end of the day, they didn't.
Yeah.
So you can think, and you know what, that's probably every game, And there'll be some games that Brisbane would have went through the year. I'm pretty sure every team would have went, God, geez, we bombed that. And that would have been Burn and Brisbane, and we spoke about that in 23, right? Which would have been a deep cut. They did it to 3 teams in a row.
Yeah, the Storm.
They did it to the Raiders. Like, Raiders shouldn't have lost that. Penrith shouldn't have lost it. And Melbourne had a lead in the grand final where they've never been run down at halftime.
Yeah, it's Coach Bellamy's first ever loss in a game in finals where he's been leading at halftime. Is there a case to say Melbourne just stopped playing a little bit? Like, I know we get caught up in Broncos and we're going to congratulate them, but did Melbourne maybe just stop at a fraction, or is it just pure they missed some opportunities?
Yeah, I just think the 3 opportunities that they missed, the energy that that Brisbane, like Payne has second entry into the game.
Yeah, his second stint was.
Yeah. Harry Grant probably didn't get out. Like, I don't think Harry got out. I saw him sort of sneak down the short side a couple of times, but I didn't see Harry run as much. They contained Munster. So defensively, if you look at Brisbane, how they defended the big guys, and I know that there was 3, and the kick and all that kind of stuff, and then they're all the set plays. But I thought that they defended Harry and Munster pretty well, and they kept Coates. Like, when you talk of Coates, and I know it's breaking the law, but they're just going to give away a penalty.
Yeah.
But they got away with it. So they go, we're going to give him 6 a go. We might even lose a player to the bin, but he's not going to leave the ground on us because we can't control him when he's up there. So every ploy that they did worked. You know what I mean? Like, what do you reckon Melbourne's thinking? Like, what do you reckon Melbourne's thinking about?
I reckon they're ruining some missed opportunities. That the Kamikamica one is difficult. Like, Munster kit, it's difficult for a front rower to catch that ball, but
he had his hands on it.
He did have his hands on it.
He had his hands on it, and if he pulls it back to there,
if he pulls it in and dives it,
if he pulls it back, if he can go, but he's got, I'm going to get it down.
Yeah, I'm going to.
And that's the. I've got the ball in my hands. There's the line, but if he comes back to here, I know. So he reached out instead of bringing it back, and do you know what? 99.9% of players would have done it.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, there's the line. I've got the ball, and you watch everybody do it, and they go down with it. They don't bring it back to their body.
With Melbourne, I guess in their review, for the second time in 2 years.
Do you have a review?
Well, I think that they would look over their season as a whole, but again, their highest paid front rower misses another grand final. I think he would have made a difference yesterday, like he would have made a difference the year before. What they do about that with Big Nelson, I don't know. I honestly...
I've never watched the grand final over.
Yeah,
mate,
I think
Coach
we
lost one.
Yeah,
mate, and the coach might, but I've never sat win, lose or draw, right? I've never sat and watched a big, and like the last game that you ever play, right? So 14 years you don't, like you get knocked out. So 11 years I lost. I never watched that game and thought, how do we get better?
Yeah.
Has times changed? Do you have to watch it, or do you know?
I think you know, but I think the staff of Melbourne will be poring over that to find out how they can get better, how they can improve, to try and make sure it doesn't happen again. And I think, but part of that review would be about Nelson. And I said this yesterday. I don't think he's too big. I think he's too tall.
Yeah,
I think he's too tall because in those tackles he's not aiming for the head. He's just
the last tackle that he did.
He's just trying to hit hard, but he can't bend down enough. The poor lad, like he's too tall. Or players are too short because but like you see those guys and they're small and they duck on you, and it's like, wow, man, like he ends up this high, like you can't. It's a hard. It's complex with what they do with Nelson and maybe,
Stefano was good though. You know what?
He was first stint was amazing.
For a young guy, and I think we called it was like 8 runs, 72 meters, and at the same time, Paynes had 1 for 28 or whatever, and he called him out, and then there was that tackle where Reece Walsh jams him, but he did end up getting it back because I thought he hit him and he lost the ball. But there was some more moments there, but he was, for a guy that's, talked it up, I thought for a big game, he can hold I thought he did his job. He did it well.
It adds a bit to the theatre, I think I've seen Reece Walsh was letting him know on one or two videos about what he thought of Stefano and his comments. And
now we know who it was directed at.
Well, you know what? If you're going to lead with it, you invite the reply, as we saw. Aaron Woods was into you. You replied to him on radio on Sunday, and I tell you what, he wasn't happy. Yeah. He was a bit sucky when we saw him when he come in for the women's game. He didn't want to say hello. It was
makes out it's a joke, the poor bugger.
Well, but if you're gonna lead, then you've got to be. And I know Buzz wrote about
Woodsy,
it in his
just
column
leave
today.
the Queenslanders alone, right? You had to go Billy, and then we had to go, and I thought it was going to stay there, and then he had to have another go, right? And then what does he think I'm going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell
you something. If you lead with your chin. Sometimes it's going to get hit.
Yeah. Or if you light the fuse, then, I mean, you're open to a response, right?
Yeah. It wasn't hard to come back at him. Though.
No. I thought it was funny.
Geez, I hope we get more than 126 viewers on this podcast. Was that, do you reckon he was angry about that? He was talking to just family and friends, close family and friends?
What, he thought it was like a private conversation?
Now he's going to have a go at you.
Mate, he wasn't happy with, mate, I saw him in the car. I was like, hey, Woodsy. He was like, blah.
But listen, Woodsy, listen. The best comment was Jimmy Graham wanted to play some music, and then Buzz goes, that belongs on that podcast. So Buzz was the worst one.
Oh, yeah. Buzz had a little pot shot. But I want the grand final to have an anthem. Like a Abide With Me, and we played Abide With Me, and it went down like a lead balloon.
That's the worst thing.
You said it was going to put you to sleep. Then you mentioned you'll never walk alone. I'm like, well, we can't have that.
Because that's Liverpool.
That's Liverpool's anthem. We can't have that. We've got to get something else.
When you walk.
No, mate. We're going to talk about the Kangaroos in a bit, but Hyundai Hybrid Hero. If you've ever thought about going hybrid, now you can. Check out the hybrid SUV range by Hyundai today. They are a cracking car. Love my Tucson to pieces. I mean, Hybrid Hero, surely there's only one. Like, both sides of the game. I mean,
I never ever thought I'd drive a hybrid, but I did.
They're all right. They're good.
They're fantastic.
They are good,
especially with the price of fuel these days. Get your bang for your bucks. See, Reedy, you and your little Tesla battery.
It's got to be Reece Walsh. Like, defensively, offensively.
Yeah. Mate, it's just, do you know what? Sometimes when you get those heroes or those, villains, because he likes playing both.
He does, yeah.
But I think, and we are allowed to have them, and I know, we talk about our game being humble, but we're in Vegas now, right? We compete. Like, if we want our game to compete with the biggest stars in the world, that guy walks around like that. He owns it, from the toilet water to that to this. They're all sitting there smoking cigars. You know, that's going back to Michael Jordan and the famous Chicago Bulls.
Smoking inside a stadium. I can't wait for the Broncos statement to tell us not to smoke indoors.
That's uncool.
Or drink, like Reece Walsh, again, drinking out of a toilet, like what? Drinking beers. Can't wait. Like, these statements are, I'm hanging on the edge of my seat for what to do with my life.
Do you know what? The celebration, I reckon people will talk about it, but when you win, you know, Wayne Bennett used to say something: winners have parties, losers have meetings.
Yeah. Well, I think that is very much the case. Yeah. Brisbane, and obviously Reece Walsh, that Hyundai hybrid hero, he was in absolutely everything. We'll be talking about this performance for years to come. What will the streets of Brisbane be like for him? And people, I think it was spoken about on the call. We were talking about, I guess, you know,
they had to put security on. So
Reece is a mega star.
So for people that don't know, last year I went down to training one day, and they had a training session what we would get in Grand Final week, right? Then their Grand Final training session, they had 6,000 or 8,000 at Suncorp. We probably would have had 2 to 3, you know, 4 maybe, right? They have it there. They've had to put gates and security for where they park their cars, because people would go, I think Reece was driving a car in as a ute, and people were sitting in the back and refused to leave. I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon.
No, in fact, it's just going to increase.
So he will obviously walk around London probably.
I don't think he's going to get picked, Gordy.
Keep your fingers crossed. Just keep your phone on. Keep your phone on, Reece.
I'm going to, you know, the internet keeps receipts. I think that State of Origin, as it's been spoken about, should be a trial for Australia. He didn't play in State of Origin, and therefore, by default, he can't play for Australia. Man, I think, you know, really, he shouldn't be anywhere near the Aussie team, because he couldn't even get into Queensland's team. So
I know.
You know, he can't.
It goes against everything that I say, mate. You know, State of Origin, you got to play, because if you don't play State of Origin, you can't play for the country. Oh God.
Mate, no, he can't get in.
No, so that's how Reece is going to walk the streets, because it'll be in London, and it'll be in Liverpool, lad, and then we'll go to Leeds.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Believe it or not, Jimmy, I'm really nervous, right? Because for one, I'm with 22 guys that are representing their country. I'm 52 that go back to represent my country again. Or I think there's 23. So to be involved is going to be really cool, to go to those famous stadiums. To represent the green and gold again and go, and we got a job to do, and I think it's 1970 since the last time the Great Britain side
we won.
Yeah, so there's pressure, and there's pressure on all of us, but we go over there and to do a job, and hopefully we pick a really healthy squad, and everybody's got through the grand final. I know that they're probably sitting down at the moment selecting the side, and congratulations to all those guys, but it's going, I know it's a huge challenge. I've been to England, and I know how they get up for it. I know how the crowd get behind them. I know, it's huge. Like, why I got up as a kid and watched our famous jersey play that other famous jersey. And when you go over there, sometimes you don't realise how big it is when there's 3 games. Like people get up for 3 games, and you know why I know that? Because I'm a Queenslander.
Yeah.
Right, and we don't always have the best side. But we got 3 games to get up for. Actually, we don't. We got 80 minutes, or we got 40 minutes, and we got 40 minutes. And I know that England, and you never get ambushed, right? You can't get ambushed playing for your country, and I say you can't get ambushed playing for your state. So it's going to be huge, and I know you're going to be there. And I've watched a fair bit of social media, and I know it's social, but I've watched footage. I don't like saying social media, and from Sam and all the guys talking, and they, there's a bit of a buzz over there, right? So Willie Peters is in the coaching staff as well, and we've got a guy that's coached against a lot of these guys as well, so he'll probably take care of England, and we just make sure that the Aussie boys are ready and raring to go and know what the occasion that they're playing for.
Yeah, well, it's since 2003 we haven't had a best of 3 series. between England and Australia. Delighted it's back. We actually spoke with Kevin Waltz on the podcast on Sunday. And I finished the interview, Gordy, by putting the analogy to him that in this series, England are a little bit like Queensland, like the underdogs. He wasn't too happy about that, but I said, so are you okay with you being New South Wales, Australia, and England?
You always
being
go for New South Wales. So I try to tell you, we live in Queensland.
Yeah.
And now it's the King. So you said, no, I don't care anyway. So, no, you don't support us. So I'm not, no.
If you look at we're the underdogs.
You are Great Britain.
No,
everybody's an underdog, mate. Have you seen our poor little country that you sent us out to?
It's a big country, though.
Hey, I know it's a beautiful country, but don't worry about us, mate. We'll be underdogs. Mate, we're playing in front of 70,000. Mate, we're playing in front of 70,000 pommies. Right? You guys have all the momentum. You guys don't have to travel. You guys are there. You're sitting there. Mate, the English pound, look at the way they treat our dollar. Oh, mate, we got so much on you guys. Mate, they give us warm beer. They give us cold food. What's wrong with these guys? Look at them. They don't like us. We will pull on anything, mate. Aussies will grab onto anything.
Mate, if you want to carry the underdog tag, you are dreaming.
We will be.
But Gordy, I am looking forward to getting over there. Yeah. It's going to be. Look, talking about with. Funnily enough, I was talking about with Buzz on my ride home. He's become my personal chauffeur since he's got that job at Triple M. He drove me into the grand final.
What's it like driving with Miss Daisy? Miss Buzz. Where do you want to go, Jimmy?
Mate,
left here? I want him to be my Siri.
Mate, you know what?
Next, left.
At the traffic lights.
Finish left after the traffic lights.
He asked me not to repeat this story.
Oh, you got it then.
But
you got it, mate. It's for the fans.
So we leave a core stadium, and we both live in the Shire, right? Mm-hmm. But God love him.
He lives on the water. He sees palace.
He wants to put it in his maps, and I'm thinking we don't need to put it in his maps. So he asked me for my address again. So I told him the address, and we're leaving. We come out of P1, and I can see him following the maps. And you go, and then we're about to hop on the M4, and I'm like, we're going towards Blacktown here. It's like, Buzz, chuck us your phone. And there's my address, but there's the same street in a different part of Sydney. No wonder I got home after midnight. We're going to a different. I'm not going to put my address out there, but we're
but listen, two things, right?
Please don't mention this on the radio.
Hey,
it's like
two things, right? You put it in because getting out of there, it can find the best route, right? Because of obviously traffic. So I do get that, and sometimes Sydney, big place, same address, just obviously different suburb, or same street name, different suburb.
Yeah, that's.
But
what
I won't bring it up tonight on 360.
No.
I got 1 hour of work to go.
Yeah, how was the drive? Yeah, it's been. I can't remember what we were discussing about the season that's been, how amazing it is, and then the fact that we've got 4 more weeks of international football, the Pac Champs as well. Then we will get a little bit of rest, and then bang, we hit the accelerator. But it's a great way to finish a season. I think sometimes international football doesn't have the same level of excitement as the regular season. But we have that sugar hit of the grand final, like, whoa, and it's ended. It's like, oh no, now we've got 2 more weeks, and we're going to slip into 3 more weeks before the first test, and it's going to be all on again, and our great game keeps on delivering and keeps on winning.
It's the longest seasons that I've been involved with going to Vegas, starting earlier, having round 0 over there. And by the end of the year, I'm over rugby league. Not this year. When we had the 2 games, I missed it.
Yeah.
Sitting there on Thursday night, and I'm like, do I have to talk to my family? Like, because you normally get home and you're watching and the footy's on. So I'm going to miss it. And the way it finished on a high, and I can't wait to get over there, as I said, as underdogs, and bring back that trophy.
The final series has been great. There's just not enough football. We won it Thursday, Friday,
Vegas,
Saturday,
right?
Sunday.
Like the start in Vegas, the way the Raiders played, and then I think it was Penrith and Sharks, that game, and then as I said, right, this South, Wayne Bennett and Des Hasler were playing for the wooden spoon. I think none of them had ever got it. And if they were the two worst sides in the competition, I think it was 5 weeks ago, and that game that they tossed up, our product's fantastic. If that's the two worst sides, the style of footy they played and like our product and our game is in great hands.
It sure is. That's all we've got time for here on the Buy Round. Please like and subscribe. Also, the Covermore Travel Insurance giveaway. Get on board for that. That is a great experience that you can win. The jerseys are still available, and we've got the Round Table Rugby League's Round Table dropping. It's myself, Buzz. We've got Seabold in from the coaching perspective, and we've got Penrith Panthers CEO Matt Cameron. Episode 1 drops Thursday. That is not to be missed. So thank you all for a great year. We'll be back with more. We will not be going absolutely anywhere here on the Buy Round.